Hello guys, Cool Yoshi here, and welcome back to my 100% playthrough of Crash Team Racing Nitro Field. In the last episode, we left off doing the adventure mode with all the gem cups. Now we only have one left to go, and that is the Red Gem Cup, and then it'll just be time relics from here on out. I hope we can get them within a decent time, as I want to see the entirety of the credits this time around, and also read the credits as well, because that's really fun to do, since that's when the extra text would pop up later anyway. But I may not be able to read it in time, but we'll do our best. Anyway, I will also, of course, have to face Oxide again, because when you get the time relics, you face Oxide again. You only need all sapphires to get all the stuff done, but you need golds or higher to get the maximum percentage, so that's what we're going to be going for, obviously. First, we have to do the Red Gem Cup, which starts in Crash Coup. Alright. So, yeah, this is going pretty well. In case I didn't already said, we did the Gem Cups in the last episode. We only have a couple of things left to do. The only thing that's going to be relatively difficult is Slide Coliseum and Turbo Tracks. What the? That was weird. What the heck was that? That was a weird music glitch there. And then, whoa. I think my feed just cut out for a second. What the heck was that? No. I think the game literally just lagged there. This is CTR Racing Nitro Field. How can this game lag? That was the most random thing I ever saw. What an actual tarnation was that? That looks crazy. It looks like the game just froze, like, a few seconds. What the heck was that supposed to be? First, racing music broke and played the same music a couple of times, and then it just got stuck for a minute. Thankfully, the game looks still fine on my feed, so that's okay, but man, if that ever causes a crash that actually does our stuff, or I guess even worse, if my game were to clash while I was recording, that'd be really bad, because then I would pretty much have to replay everything up to that point to kind of simulate a playthrough. It would not be fun anymore. The only way to back that up is to just play each course at least decently good. I'm not getting good bounces off that turn for a good turn. I know in order to do the best, you want to get a bounce off the turtle at a specific point. Whoops. Whoa. That super high jump again. That's one thing that could happen. Probably just because of the mechanics in this game that makes that jump possible. It's just kind of weird. Gosh dang it. What was that item there, and why did I even run into it in the first place? Definitely getting better at keeping my boost longer. I'm gonna need to remember how to do that as much as I can, obviously, because otherwise things could get a little bit crazy. In case you're wondering, if I ever do adventure mode for the 100% on hard, I'm gonna have to do that in a separate playthrough, since doing that on video would be just really hard to get properly. So I guess that's why everyone does it on easy now, at least for the walkthrough, though I wouldn't mind at least a separate playthrough on hard. I'm pretty sure, like I said, if you guys want to see this game done on hard in the adventure mode, then there's probably a playthrough or two that does it, so just watch that instead. Of course, if I did that, it would probably be a lot different. I would record a little bit longer in general, the feed wouldn't be as bad, and I would probably edit out tons of stuff. Like, I would edit out literally all the fails just to make it more fun. And maybe a no commentary video as well. Since I like commentating, I don't want to do that, so that's why I went on classic mode instead. Classic's at least tough enough where it still gives you a challenge, but most of the challenges on all of the other stuff instead. Okay, so now that we know what to do here, let's try and do this. And of course we miss it right away. Even though I practice it so many times I've seen, I of course don't get it here whatsoever. I even mentioned that in order to get over that, you need just a perfect jump off that, and you need a drift to get that as well. Oh. That stupid boulder again. Always get hit by that boulder at least once, it seems like. I could never seem to evade it all the time. Even though I did evade it on the first lap. There we go, that's a little bit better. There we go! What? What? Ugh. I thought I was good. Okay, screw that. The next time I do the jump, I'm gonna have to do that all the time, because earlier today, or at least when I was doing the time trial, I seem to at least make the jump more than 90% of the time, but I swear this is much harder in this game. It's too bad, because I really wanted to make that, because that would have cut a huge portion of the track out, because of course, it did not allow it. I feel like in the original, it's way easier to make it, because it's a lot closer, but because of the mechanics, it's so much harder in this game, and I don't like it for that reason. And I know that you have to kind of drift into it in order to keep all of your speed to do that, and I know that you have to keep the boost for the turn as well, but for some strange reason, I can't remember that, and I just failed there. That was awful. Not even a single one there. If I was a not terrible player, I would have made that at least 2 times. Maybe 3, but probably not all 3 times, but at least a couple of times. And keep in mind, one of the times had to be denied at the last minute because I had to delay it because of the You can see how much that turn gets cut out by the other stuff. In fact, that's probably so much faster now that even if the trick were possible in the remake, where you go and hit the finish line a little bit sooner, it would at least maybe save like 5 seconds, but this is fast enough to the point where it still probably work really well. And obviously I'm not going for the trick on a second part. I know it is technically faster by a few minutes, but I'm not going to go for the shortcut on top because it hardly saves any time at all, and I'd rather get a fun lap through instead. Wow, I'm about to lap one of the CPUs. This is the first. Keep in mind, it does take a lot of skill to even lap the easy CPUs, but if you're gonna lap someone, I guess let it be the easy CPUs. Makes sense, of course, because with all the quarter cuts you do. Yep, I lapped. I lapped Crash there. The first time I've ever lapped a CPU. Nice. That's good. And that's a good finish too, so we'll have a decent amount of time to finish off the relics. Now, obviously this will not be the end for Platinum Relics. Unfortunately, I'm sad to say we will have to get more as well, but I'm going to do it more like the original though. Or at least what I originally did with them. So, since we have to do extra Platinum Relic challenges in the game, we will do those, including on the bonus tracks, but I'll only show me going for the gold. Or at least my first completion where I get all the boxes. And if it's too tough, I'll just ignore it and go for the gold. And if I get the gold on stream, then I'll get the Platinum Relic later. So, and then I guess I'll kind of just show what I get later by maybe starting one of the videos with the last Platinum Relic attained, just for fun. But yeah, the original game, when you went to the Relic Challenge, it wouldn't really be much different. Okay, so what's this one? That's Turbo Track. This is Slide Coliseum, right? I can't actually tell which one's which, unfortunately. So we may end up actually doing Turtle Track first. From what it looked like, Turtle Track is on the left and Slide Coliseum is on the right. I decided to save this until the very end so I wouldn't have much time to do stuff. Compared to the other stuff, Slide Coliseum and Turtle Track are almost nothing. There's only a couple of jumps that are really bad, and the course is just pretty basic overall, as you can see. Just basic stadium. Only a couple of big jumps. It is, of course, a little trolly in the fact that since this is Slide Coliseum, we'll be obviously trying to slide through a lot of stuff here. But okay, I'm gonna go for this one first. And I'm gonna definitely slide as much as I can in these tracks. I like the way they set up the stadium, it's really cool. Slide Coliseum and Turtle Track are some of the courses that, in my opinion, looked kind of bland in the original game, so when they released this remake with a bunch of new stuff, it was actually a pretty cool remake of the original tracks. Wow, this is so much easier than I thought. That's the only reasonably challenging box right there. Even that doesn't seem too difficult. Oh, and then there's this, I guess. Bracket. I'll just turn around for that. Knowing that, I should probably do a brake drift for that, but we'll figure that out later. Okay, so on this last strap, we'll try and slide as many times as we can for... Okay, only 3 more boxes left. I think it's really cool that in this one track they put all the character animations into one here. Platinum, and it was easy. What the heck? I got that by literally 140. Holy crap. Forget that. That's a accidental plat there. And a first try platinum too. Wow, that helps out a lot. I guess when I mentioned that platinum wasn't really too difficult, that is one that I definitely remember that was definitely easier than the original just because that's our stuff. So that's technically the second platinum I could have gotten, or third, at least second on video, that I could have gotten. Without even breaking all the boxes, I still would have gotten it. It's just about how fast I drive. So, it looks like they kept that one really easy for some reason, at least in this version. It might get updated later, but as far as I know, that was a first try plat. Okay, that gets my hopes up quite a bit. Of course, since we are technically going for the platinums, I'm not going for the gold. It's pretty obvious. I'm trying to get the platinums by getting all the boxes, just to make sure. I think Turbo Track is the harder of the two, but Slide Coliseum is so easy. What the heck? I could have just slid around, missed a couple of boxes, and I still would have gotten it. In fact, I was kind of surprised it was not like at least a 55 or something, or I think it was 120 I got, so maybe it could have been around there, but no, it was 140 of all things. Oh jeez, this looks a lot better than the previous one. It's like Coliseum is still cool, but I'm not so interested in this one. Okay, so Turtle Track, of course, has a bunch of turbos around there. And some of them are a little bit interesting, to say the least. Not all of them are actually proper turbos. Some of them actually make you go faster than what you would normally. This is the worst part right here. Fortunately, there's no real good way of getting all of the boxes here. You can get a nice line for that, but other than that, I think the best way of getting this is to just go through all the boxes, getting boosts as much as you can. And you can see that there's a lot of silly boost paddles that just make you go a lot farther than you would expect. So, in case you're wondering, some of the purple paddles for earlier, yeah, those purple panels are back here in a random track this time. Okay, what's this one gonna be? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just go on the odd side here. Wow, this is really cool to go fast in this. I like it so far. You would be all over in the grass if you didn't do what I just did there, so something that is very important to remember if you go through Turtle Track. Okay, now I need to go right, I think. I got really confused, so I don't know if I went one way or another. If I miss a box because of that, I'm probably just gonna go the right one instead. I swear, that is faster than anything else you could do. Oh. Well, actually, I'm gonna just take it. Yeah, see, I do it. It's another easy plat, and sure enough, those are actually the easiest courses in the game. So I don't even care that I missed 3 boxes. I'm not sure where I missed them, but I don't care anymore, because I got the platinum and that's all that matters. So I need to remember that. So out of all of the platinums in the game, ironically the ones I thought I would have trouble with, this is supposed to be an endgame platinum, by the way. After you get everything else in the game, you're supposed to do these last. And yet these are some of the easiest tracks to platinum. Holy crap. I'm not even on hard mode, and, well, I'm on the hardest, and I thought it would be more difficult than this, but this is actually kind of pathetic seeing this. Like, compared to all the other challenges I did just to get the relics, this is way easier.
So, you're back and you've gathered all my time relics. I'm impressed. Well, it's about time I taught you a real lesson in speed. This race is for keeps.
This race is for keeps, he says. I don't think so, Oxide. Oxide? Oh! Oh, we have a new paint job. Relic Gold. Oh! Wow. What is that? Whoa! Goodness. So we got all of that for getting all of the relics in Adventure Mode, as well as the green decals and hovercraft for unlocking the true ending battle with Oxide, and that will probably unlock Oxide by beating him one more time. And we also got additional trophies for getting all of the relics of Platinum in this spot. So it looks like that is actually unlockable. So at least once on your file, if you want true 100%, you have to get all the Platinums in this game. Which is kind of bad, because there's a lot of tough platinums, but most of them are in the actual worlds. I'm actually kind of surprised that Slide Coliseum and Turbo Tack were kind of pathetic, but anyways, back to Oxide again. For Oxide's first part, if you want to really dodge him, I recommend going on the edge right about here, because if you do that and boost correctly, you can get ahead of him right away. That's the best way to win the race. If you don't get ahead of him right away, things start happening, like these bombs, for example. I kind of hate that he doesn't say that here's a little surprise as much in this game. Because in the original game, the bosses used to taunt you a lot. Unfortunately, that's one thing they took away in the remake, is just don't see the taunt as much, which is too bad, because Oxide has some of my favorite lines in the game. Like, he early tries to express he's the fast driver, because he says, like, too bad, and, like, so little surprise! I just remember seeing that in the original game, because he used to say that all the time. It's too bad that they removed that, because that's kind of bad. It doesn't seem like Oxide doesn't get to express his character as much in this game. Only a minor complaint at best. It's crazy. Also, I feel like if you play on the easier difficulties, the final boss fights seems a lot toned down for the rest of the fights in the game. Of course, that's probably because he's gonna be much harder to do on hard, so in fact he's probably much harder, but if you're talking classic turns, Oxide seems a lot easier in this game. I felt like in the original he moved a lot quicker, like usually at least fast enough to where he would be decently faster than your character, and you would be forced to use items to get ahead of him. I remember having a much bigger problem with him, but oh, I should have said that. Right as I said that, I'm behind Oxide. That was kind of pathetic, by the way, hitting that red bottle. Normally I don't hit bottles like that. It's also not fun that when I hit him, he actually stops for the full seconds this time. Because in the original, he would only spin out. He would never actually flip out, which made him one of the most difficult bosses in the game in that manner, but the boss theme has kind of been reworked, by the way, for the final battle. It has a little there to it, with some extra lines added in, which I think is cool. Okay, well now I'm doing much better. I'm not sure what that was, hitting the bottle there. Unfortunately, I can't really see that, so it's hard to know where it is when you can't see it even to begin with. So focused on going fast that it just really bad miss there. Okay, well now we beat him. This time he gave us a little bit of a more of a challenge, but it's still pretty easy though, as always.
Mate, you call that racing?
And there we go, we finished the game 100%. At least the adventure mode, that's not all the stuff.
You beat me once again. Now I have to go back to the planet Gasmoxia, a complete loser. I must be getting slow in my old age. That's it. I'm finished racing with these mushy backward worlds. Keep your miserable planet. I'm out of here for good.
Good riddance. Oh, that's a new thing they added. Why is it showing the cutscene, by the way, that Crash and Coco beat, the final boss? Because clearly I beat it as Dingodile. That doesn't make sense. I don't know why they didn't change that. Okay, now let's talk a little bit. Crash showed his life story to a major movie studio. The film titled The Color Orange will be released for the holidays. Crash should now be found somewhere on a beach down under, doing what he does best. Dancing and napping. Because why not? Dr. Neocortex went back to scientific research and discovered a new element in the periodic table. Numerous lawsuits failed to change the name he boldly chose for element 1119. Cortex rules the world, Liam. That's kind of a funny one. Tiny Tiger's many fans admired his physical prowess, which encouraged him to start a new series of online fitness videos. Tiny Bo was an overnight sensation. Tiny then moved to Beverly Hills and did a popular chain of fitness clubs where he sold his patent mammographs and allergies. Well, okay, I was there with that. Coco went on to start her own video game streaming service. That makes sense, she has a phone. Although her company is still in the red, share prices are going through the roof. InGen opened up a custom auto parts shop in Toledo, Ohio. The store closed after a massive recall where the patient created the load missile function. Affinity for Fair and Destruction landed him a job as a commentator on the Wild Popular Gems. I forgot. Dingodile started a new career as a firefighter, training his flamethrower for water hose. Since then, he's constantly praised for his effectiveness on a job that is most recently featured on the cover of the yearly Fireman calendar. That's a fun one. Porter became the head flavor scientist for a leading ice cream company. He created bold new flavors like Sound Swirl, Swishy Smooth Sundae, and Mackerel Mint, but it was the juice that really put him on the map. Pierre joined the Las Vegas Tiger Show of Ziegfeld and Floyd. His starring role came to an end one day when Pearl accidentally closed his mouth a bit too early. He's delayed to debut in a new solo act next month. Pinstripe left racing and became a used car salesman in New Jersey. Although a top salesman each month, his atypical methods unfortunately led to him losing his license and returned to his previous work as a CEO and bodyguard. Peppu joined the Wild Wrestling Association and changed his ring name to Mr. Bad Belly. Seeking to remove the Bad Belly dance was so popular that it ignited a worldwide dance phenomenon. Big belly dancing could be around the world. Ripperoo turned his attention to the music part industry and somehow became a thrill-ride engineer. He was blacklisted after officials learned that every ride he created was just a new way for him to test his own threshold of pain. Komodo Joe opened Honest Joe's Wedding Ring and Rare Gem Outlet in Search. At a series of sting operations, Joe was convicted of stolen stuff. Shortly after that, his brother Mo announced the opening of a jewelry auction house. And Trophy began tinkering with his time machine hobby again. He was last seen entering a time warp while traveling to some strange city in a distant future. It's said that he met a pure man in a red coat, sweetest kiss you ever seen. After that, he had decided he had to go back. Nitrous Outside went back to the planet Gasmoxia, a broken alien. After years of therapy, Oxide emerged from seclusion to begin racing again. Unfortunately, the unicycle was a poor vehicle choice. The resulting accident put an end to his ambitions in conquest. The details of the event were too gruesome to paint here. So yeah, Oxide tried to go racing, but nothing happened. I'm actually kind of annoyed that those features go a little too fast, because I think the only way for me to read all that in time is to just pause the game, which would not be fun, but if there's one thing I don't like in this game, it's when the ending played out. It's really cool that they added Crash and Coco to the ending to make it more interesting, since that wasn't in the original at all, but the fact that it had to be Crash and Coco and not anyone else is kind of silly, considering I went for the entire game with Dingodile. Don't know why they couldn't just change the cutscene to have an evil version of the same spot, or have like 8 different versions based off of who you beat it as, and that would be one of the versions you would get. It's just too bad, but I guess if they did all of that, they would have to do it for all the new characters as well, but that just seems kind of stupid, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Oh well, though. I wish they would have added an extra scene where Dingodile does something at the end instead of Crash and Coco together. Like, why did we go for the entire game, but Crash and Coco are praised as the heels instead? That's just straight up silly. I don't like that. That's the only thing I don't like. Everything else, this game, it's been really fun so far, and I really like it. Since we have a lot of time, we can actually start the cups today and still have some fun, but I don't know yet. It depends, though. Obviously, when I said that when I finished this, I was going to buy some other stuff, so we're finally going to be able to go to the Wampa store and see what we can purchase. Been collecting a lot of coins throughout the game, but now it's finally time to use them to purchase some most useful items. Hopefully we can buy characters, because if so, I'm buying Spyro and probably using him next. I didn't say this entire playthrough was gonna be Dingodile. I was just using him for the storyline because that's the character I prefer more, and because if you wanted to use a character in the storyline, you would have to unlock it first. Since he's one of the only ones available initially, I played this on our stuff. And obviously, in case I didn't already say this enough, this was played on classic mode, so this is one of the easier difficulties, but of course it still gave me a big problem because hard was already crazy enough, but then every race being difficult, I just can't get around that. I would not like to see how tough Oxide would be on the hardest difficulty, so yeah, I'm very glad that I decided to do hard. In fact, for that reason, when I looked at the speedrun, they don't even have a hard mode category yet. They just have an any % category and you pick whatever difficulty you want, so obviously everyone picks easy just to remove the CPUs, RNG. It's still fun though, because you're more focused on just going as fast as you possibly can, so it helps when the CPUs aren't in your way, because that removes a huge RNG segment. So to be fair, it is much better to do it that way, but yeah. Anyway though, that is it. We finally finished the adventure mode to 100% completion, and of course I will go up to the register, or little green TV or whatever it is, I forgot what it is, the save screen. After that, and I will show you proof that I 100%ed the game, because the game doesn't actually treat it as 100% creation. If you have gold relics or higher, it'll actually be a much higher percent. I forget what it actually is. Still though, I'm showing the video as 100% completion because when I mentioned I was doing everything, I mean I'm gonna do everything. Previously, I skipped a lot of stuff in the Luigi's Mansion, but that was mostly just because, the only other thing I could have done is a multiplayer thing. That's why I didn't do that. But this game has a little bit more single-player stuff, so we will actually be doing that. So that means that rain rally that was talked about a lot, that is going to be something we do, so we're going to have to do that on every track as well. And that's probably going to be a challenge within itself. Whew. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I honestly haven't done that, so as you might have guessed, I'm going to be blind for that as well, because Ring Rally, in case you didn't know, is a new adventure mode game where you basically race through a bunch of rings. Yeah. And yes, the credits are really long, but I'm trying to fill it up with as much as we can. So just like I said, the game's not going to be over after we finish adventure mode. First, we'll be doing all cups on at least all major difficulties, though I'm only going to go up to medium because screw hard, that's way too hard. I will still do the hard mode cups, but I'll probably have to do them off screen. These are very long credits, by the way. They used to be a lot shorter in the original game, I swear. I don't know why they extended it. Well, I guess, to be fair, a lot of people wanted to make this work, so it just feels to appreciate all the people that made this game, which I like. Which is cool. Come to think of it, I didn't know that this many people worked together to make just this remake game, so looks like they definitely put a lot of effort into the remake, and that's why I like it. It's definitely one of my favorite games so far. So far, it's been almost just as fun as Mario Kart, if not maybe more difficult, just because of the tricks that you do. Yeah, Mario Kart has its 200cc, but once you get through all the campaign stuff, there's not really much to do other than just that. But this game has so much extra stuff in it, with the racing and the relic challenges, that just make it a lot more fun for many people, which is why they did that. So yeah, it's nice to see that there's a lot of people that were involved on this project. Moving the stick a little bit just to make sure that this text doesn't darken. I like how the credits initially scrolled, by the way. The game first has all of the characters appearing on screen with their faces as well. That's one thing that they added that was really cool. As well as you get to see almost all of their winning animations and some of the animations of the boss characters. Kind of interesting that Oxide's animation was a losing animation, but to be fair, it makes sense. You just lost everything. Like, losing Toast to Big Racer, I wouldn't be surprised if he had the... he was going to do that, because, to be fair, he's kind of, sad now, because we just completely destroyed him. Well, hey, I guess that's pretty much the end of this part of the game, because since the game area is now much more safer now, we don't have to worry about Oxide messing up anything, so we can just do whatever we want now, and I like it. I'm actually kind of surprised at the amount of stuff you unlock just by doing adventure mode. I knew I was going to do it, like, I wanted to do this. This was obviously going to be my first thing I did, but I didn't expect it to unlock that much stuff. I unlocked so much stuff by going here. Fortunately, most of it was just for, the other 8 characters, and not really much for ours, but we did unlock a few new characters, of course, including the bosses as well. And we still are gonna get more at the end, so we're definitely waiting for this to finish. Goodness, the credits are like super extended in this. Wow, this is crazy. Well, I guess one thing that I am going to tell you is the next game that I'm gonna play, just a fair hint, it's gonna be another blind playthrough, and it's gonna also be a completely new game that just got released this month. August it released finally. And obviously I'm gonna play it because you'll figure out later. I'll reveal it not until I actually start playing it though, because that'd be silly. Because of the amount of stuff in this game, by the way, this is probably going to be one of the longest playthroughs I've ever done. Again, not going to be showing off the online. I've decided not to do that. If anybody asks for it via comments, then I will do some online playthroughs. If we get enough comments and likes, we might do an online run, but of course that's just racing non-stop, so I'm not sure if I'll do it, but I'll definitely make it work. Man, this is a long amount of icons. Even some of the new games credits, the credits usually don't last this long. Usually they're set up in such a way where they only last about 5 minutes. This one so far has taken 10 minutes so far, and this is just the full credits too. And yeah, I guess it's good, but it's just that, why are the credits this long? Okay. I don't really have much else to say here. Kinda just waiting for the credits to end. I don't know why the credits are so long. I guess this game just must be one of those big games that took a lot of people to develop for some reason. That's just really crazy. Well, I guess it makes sense. It's the remake. Lots of people wanted this to happen, so to be fair, it makes sense, but still, I don't know why the credits have to be this long. Usually an end appears by now, but it's really strange that it hasn't appeared yet. Well, so I guess the next thing I could do is to actually explain what I mean by 100% completion, because I may not necessarily get 100% completion, because the way you get 100% in this is not just by doing all of the other stuff. You have to both do all of the activities, and you have to unlock characters by doing specific actions. So like, Venture Mode allowed us to unlock the bosses and some of the skins, but for some of the other stuff, it's a little bit different. So, from what I assume, in order to unlock any more characters, you have to buy them with coins, and then buy their upgrades too to make them more interesting. But anyway, when I mean there's a lot of stuff to get, like, there's a lot of stuff to get. This game has over 30 characters, including several unique characters that haven't been seen before, including the girls from the original game. Yes, that's one thing I actually forgot to mention. There's normally some girls that appear at the end of each trophy you get in the original game. They would flash their umbrella in front of you, and it was a cool thing that would happen. They removed it for some reason, but they didn't actually remove them. Instead, the girls are now actual playable characters instead. So all of the girls from the original game are still there. And yes, that includes Tana from Crash 1 as well, so she's there as well. So you can play as them now, which I think is really interesting that they did that. So they probably have animations with their umbrellas. It's just, you have to win with them now in order for that to happen. And of course, there's Spyro characters, including Spyro. Spyro is a playable character in this game, which I'm not sure how they got that to work, but it's pretty cool. I like it. So yeah, there's easily over 30 characters to unlock with over hundreds of customizations with a minimum of 20 plus customizations for each character. It's just, there's so much. It's crazy, honestly. It's also really cool that you can now play in the hovercraft when you finish adventure mode, at least 100% completion, with Oxide, with not having to play as Oxide to do that. In the original game, you had to play as Oxide and you would automatically be put into the hovercraft, but now you can use it as a customization, which I think is really cool, which is nice. That is one thing I'll be doing for sure. Well, I guess the first thing I do before I start anything is I'm gonna probably actually go to the store. I did say I was going to go to the store, but I'm kind of interested what the Wampa store coins get you, so I'm definitely going to buy that. And if I am able to buy other characters at any point, then I will definitely buy Spyro, one of my first characters. Now, I did hear bad news saying that you would have to use pay microtransactions to get some of the extra characters, but honestly, I don't recommend that because the game is already good enough on its own. There's no reason you should even fret about it. If anything, it's probably better for the game because honestly, there's so many characters. I doubt anybody would want to unlock all of them like the legit way. But hey, it's still, you can still do that. Wow. This is one of the longest credits ever devised. I think it's like 20 minutes for a full credits. Holy crap, there's so much stuff here. Okay, here's a fun part. Okay, so they tell you who does stuff for each character. It looks like each... there's quite a few guys that actually do several characters. So Fred Tescor was the actor for Dingodile, but he also is the same actor for Komodo Joe as well. That's really cool. I like it. Which I think is really fun. And then there's additional voices. Okay, I think we're finally at the end. Wow. That took so long. There was so much extra stuff. I understand, by the way, when these icons come up, this is when it's almost done. So we can finally start playing, maybe. I'm not cutting out any of this, by the way, because I am pretty tired from doing a lot of the game, and I definitely need a break, and what better way to do it than the credits? Still kind of confusing that it's really long. It just never ends. Oh, there it is! Thank you for playing! Whoa, that was a ton of people we just saw there. I knew I wanted to stick near the end. So, thank you for playing appears at the end. And look at that. That was like over 100 people easily. In just that spot alone. Wow. That was a lot of people there. Holy crap. Goodness. I like that they added that at the end. Okay, so now that that's over, let's see what we get. We get nitrous oxide, hot rod, but doesn't seem like much else. I think we already unlocked him later. And that's about it. So we're gonna have to quit now to get back to the menu, since we are done with adventure mode. And oh, I guess I could just show it via here instead then, since it auto-saves at the end, right? Okay, so we're gonna be back to the main menu for the first time in a long time. Oh, and there it is, 101% actually. See, if you have all of the golden relics or higher, your percent is actually 101%, not 100%. So, now that that's finally done, let's go to Pit Stop here and see what's actually going on. And we have a character bundle for 6,300 and a Cricky cart set for the 800. Unfortunately, nothing much else, and characters. Obviously, we're more interested in other stuff. Oh, so this is just a random thing that you get. So that's what it is. Okay, let's see here. I don't really know much. Okay, so these are just daily deals, unfortunately. And you can purchase these by going to the eShop. That's why you get all these. And then there's that for some reason. Okay. Fortunately, I don't know what else to do, so we'll go into single race to check out how to change characters. So let's go to here and see what happens. Oh, that's what it says. Unlockable in the pit shop. That's what it is. So yeah, we have to unlock them via the pit shop. Pit stop, whatever it is. Fortunately, yeah. It makes sense, I guess. Okay, well, since we got enough coins for that, let's go ahead and do that. Let's enter the pit stop and I guess just focus on buying characters one at a time here. So I'm more interested in that. Some of the other stuff is tempting, but we're gonna unlock this. Nice. Okay, so we can just unlock characters by purchasing them for 5,000. So in this case, we'll just unlock all of them one by one. Wow, that one was Velo. Velo's the final boss of CTR, what was it again? Oh, and Rilla's in this game. From, wasn't that, Crash Bash? Yeah, he's from Crash Bash. That's really cool. Wow, even Baby Cortex. I'm actually not interested in that. Let's go for that. Yeah, that's much better. Nina is a good character. He is a good one. We'll buy that. Okay, so that's how you unlock characters in this game. You get up to 1,500 coins, and then you just buy all of them. So it's actually a pretty long grind to get everything. But unfortunately, that'll be it for now. There's nothing else that we can really do here. So this arcade mode is going to be what we're going to be focusing on. Specifically, every cup race, no battles, every time trial, every rain rally, and every relic race will be completed. So there's still a lot to do, but other than that, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video, comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video where we begin arcade mode, local arcade, by doing all of the cups in this game, which will be really fun. So anyways, see you guys later. Bye.